You three are all so great. I don't know how a guy's supposed to choose between you. I'm here enjoying a lovely afternoon in the park, and today we're going to do a quick walkthrough of the Instax SQ6, the SQ10, and the obnoxiously long named Lomography Lomo Instant Square Glass, if that isn't a mouthful. Let's see how these do. So this isn't intended to be a thorough review of these cameras, but rather just a quick overview, just to kind of, give you some idea of what they are. So, starting with the one that everyone loves, the Instax SQ6. I got all three of these cameras secondhand, and this SQ6 probably shows it the most. You can see it's got some dents on that front, but that's just a decorative trim plate. There's nothing super critical right behind that little bit of dent there. And as you can see, it's gotten a little dusty over the last year or so. I think the SQ6, like the Lomo, takes CR2 batteries, as do many other Instax cameras. And it is popular because it's a fully analog camera, but it has a variety of modes. It has a full auto mode and a selfie mode, which, as you can see, moves the lens, and a macro mode, and then specifically focusing on distant objects mode. We'll call it mountain mode. There's a double exposure mode and a lighten and a darken feature. It also has a flash disable button right here. Turn that on and the camera will not flash. And a self timer, which you enable and disable that button. But one of the things that's kind of annoying about the SQ6 is that all of these modes on the top right here, you can only select one of them at a time. So you can select lighten or darken, but you can't darken and shoot at a distant mountain. You can't lighten and do macro at the same time. And that's disappointing to some people. That being said, you can pick one of these up new for just a little bit more than an SQ1, and honestly, I would choose this one first. Always. Just always choose this one over the SQ1. It's a pretty good camera. The results are, well, they're sort of typical of Instax cameras. They're a little flat in my book, but still decent, still decently sharp, but nothing to write home about. And yeah, that's pretty much it for the SQ6. The SQ10, which is the very first Instax Square camera, is a different beast altogether. It's what a lot of people are calling a hybrid digital camera, which means it's basically a digital camera with a built-in printer for Instax Square film. Again, this was the first Instax Square camera. It takes a removable, rechargeable battery, and it has, on this side, you can charge it directly in the camera if you want, and it also has a micro SD card slot for saving photos. It'll save a few in the camera. I don't know the exact limits, but it's not it's not a lot. To turn the camera on, see how it says off and on right here? You literally just turn this ring around once and the camera comes on. These right here, by the way, are the shutter buttons. So there's a left button and a right button. And in manual mode, which is this switch on the side, here it says auto manual. You can sit there and you can take the photo, and there you go. You snap the photo, and then you press this button right here to print the last one. You can also scroll through to earlier photos, I believe. Oh no, I take that back. You cannot. You can go back. You can scroll through to earlier photos, like this one I shot the other day. That was during the eclipse. I shot some shadows of leaves. To get back to shooting again, you press the shutter button, and then it's ready to go again. And if you want it to function like a more normal instant camera, you just switch to auto, and then when you take a picture, it will print it out right away. Okay, and then finally, the oddest duck of them all, the Lomography Instant Glass. It's supposed to have a shutter that closes over the lens, to act sort of like a protector, like almost like a lens cap. Whenever you fold it down, mine doesn't seem to work. I don't know. Flip it open like so, and that's when you're ready to shoot, because that turns on the camera. There's a flash disable button, multiple exposure button, exposure compensation up, exposure compensation down, auto and bulb setting, and there's a 10-second timer. It also has a remote built into the camera, so you can use it for group photos if you want to be in it. For example, just set the camera on a tripod. Notice tripod socket, set it on a tripod, hit the auto button, and it will try and take a photo. There's no film in the camera at the moment. And that's all there is to it. And it closes up. You just see this little notch right here. You just push that down, hold it shut. That easy. Now, here's the thing. I have never put film in this camera. I've never actually shot with this camera. So let's put some film in it for the first time. I'm not going to hold contrast. Well, actually, this film just expired in May, so it should still be pretty good. But we will see. Should I be loading film in a darker place? Yeah, ideally. By the way, there are other versions of this camera you can get, different kits, so to speak. Come with a replaceable door, so you can shoot Instax Mini as well as the square film, but they're close enough in price. I would rather just shoot the square film, so I don't mind not having the special back door. So you do that, click it open, turn the flash off, because why waste the batteries on ejecting the dark side. The shutter button, by the way, is this square button right here that says Lomo. See that? All right, so let's go for a walkabout and take some photos and see what we get. Okay, so our first stop is this trio of square shade umbrellas. And we're going to start with the SQ6. This is the only one where I'm going to take the same photo with 3 different cameras. And my point here with this one is that, well, my understanding is that the SQ10 has a much wider angle lens than the others. But let's put that to practice, and we'll do prints for each one. By the way, for that print animation, so first let's take the photo, then click the print button. Okay, you ready to see it? It does this. Just like the Instax Mini Evo does. Okay, so here we're looking at, this is the photo from the SQ10, this is the one from the SQ6, and this is the one from the Lomo. Notice not only the widest is the SQ10, with the SQ6 not far from the SQ10, pretty similar, a little bit narrower, and then the Lomo is a lot narrower lens, probably a lot better for portraits. Also, I'm sure this isn't coming out on video. The SQ10 being a digital camera that just prints on film, that's pretty sharp. The Lomo, the photo from the Lomo is crazy sharp. I mean, crazy sharp. I don't think I've seen anything sharper on instant film, not on integral film like this anyways. The SQ6 is just a little softer. It's not bad. Compared to a lot of instant cameras, it's pretty solid, but it's just a bit softer. Ran out of film in the SQ10, and I've never loaded one of these before. I just unwrapped the film pack, and I think what you do, you slide this over sideways, and then it swings open. It's pretty wild how much of the camera is in back. It opens like a big old book. Interesting, right? How that looks inside. Anyway, let's put some more film in. And look at that. It auto ejects the dark side. That's pretty cool. If I had to pick one, and only one to keep, I think I know what my answer would be. And if I had to pick just one to get rid of, I'm pretty sure I know what my answer would be then too. But, as a quick roundup, the SQ6 is a nice little camera. None of the photos I've ever taken with it have been particularly sharp. Not too soft, unless I had the focus set wrong, but not particularly sharp either. Color's good. I find that it's always a little washed out for me, always a little overexposed. In fact, when I don't have in one of the other modes, I'm usually shooting on the darken setting. The Lomo Square. Oh, I'm sorry. The Lomo Instant Square Glass. It's got a mouthful of a name, but it does have a lot of features. All these controls on the back can come in very useful. I do like it. I think it's kind of fun, kind of quirky. I bought the white one because I got it for a good price. I would have gone with the black one myself, but couldn't beat the price on this one. Anyways, it is manual focus. So you have to adjust this little slider to whatever you think the appropriate focus setting is. And when you get it right, it's going to be nice and sharp. When you get it wrong, it'll be blurry. So a lot of people have said that it has metering problems. I haven't experienced that yet. I'm not saying I won't. I'm saying I haven't experienced it yet. A lot of people say the viewfinder is terrible. I will say it's not very good. But it is usable. It's functional. And that's about the nicest thing I can say about it. But I really do like it. If you want to work at it, if you really want to create spectacular photographs, you don't mind losing a few frames here and there, I think this might be the way to go. This guy is wonderful. It's the smallest of the three by far. I mean, it's the same height as the SQ6, maybe a smidge taller, but it's narrower. It's definitely a lot thinner. If you don't have film for an hour because you just got on the plane, you can just snap some digital photos. It's wonderful. You can take the shot, make sure you got what you want, right? Because you can take the photo, make sure it's what you want, and then print it. I want to say it feels like cheating, but is there really any such thing as cheating in photography? I mean, if you're getting the images you want, then it's fine. It's not true instant photography. I guess if you switch it to auto mode, then it is, but at that point, why did you bother buying the hybrid camera? If you want to shoot wide angle to instant photography, this is a good way to go. It's pretty wide. It's wider than the SQ6. It's a lot wider than the Instant Square Glass. So yeah, I'm definitely keeping this one. I'm probably going to keep this one too. This one, I'm not so sure. Anyways, thanks for watching. If you don't mind, throw me a thumbs up and maybe subscribe. Have a nice day.